This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Welcome everybody to the Easthampton City Council Finance Committee meeting. It is January 14th, 2026 at 6:03 p.m. Do we have minutes? If I missed them, I apologize, from December.
But I'm not sure if anybody was really taking minutes at that particular meeting. If it is now my duty to go back and make that happen, though, I can absolutely do that.
I suppose we didn't actually have a clerk designated at that time.
I think we just assumed you were Peg, so.
Yeah. Just,
Okay.
if you don't mind, I mean,
Yeah.
just something really cursory, that would be super.
Hopefully they're quick meetings.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That meeting was like 6 minutes long.
Yeah, that'll be, you could probably do that. in
Just
2
say,
seconds.
we came, we saw, we voted on something.
All right. Well, in terms of tonight, the first thing we've got is, Marianne, you'd come to us with a proposal about raising the fees for vital statistics. Would you like to?
Sure. Well, it's been since 2005 since the fees were raised at all for any of the fees, but in particular, we've noticed we mainly wanted to raise the fees to be the same as Northampton because we have a lot of records in common, especially with the funeral homes, whether in Easthampton or out of Easthampton. A lot of times they have to get the burial permit from the town where the person passed away, but then they can get the record, the death certificates from either the resident community or the town where the person passed. And we noticed like communities, mostly the funeral homes ordering large amounts, like 10 and higher records at a time. And we just thought that would help increase the revenue in Easthampton. I did include a couple of surveys. I know it was kind of last minute today. And it's not really very high compared to other communities. It's just something that we've noticed as I've been the clerk. I've noticed an increase in requests, especially for death records that, even from out of town or in town funeral homes, we just thought the benefit of the city to increase it.
Okay. I don't have any objection to this. I agree that if there's a lot of back and forth between the two, then there's probably some logic to keeping those in line. Councilors, do you have any questions about this? I'm not seeing Northampton in either of these.
No, they didn't respond to the survey, but it's on their website what they charge.
Okay.
And we do even actually hear, oh, we're coming to Easthampton because it's less expensive. So I just figured, well, make it the same fee, so it's consistent. And yeah, if the funeral homes want to get the records from us, it would just be a consistent fee. Like I said, it's been since 2005, that any fees were increased. We're keeping everything else the same, but those in particular, I think, and I don't think anyone would be a hardship for anyone really, but that would be the birth, death, and the marriage records rather than just increasing one, just the death.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Just to help me understand, do the funds that come in through this get funneled into the sort of general account? Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, how much revenue do we collect through vital statistics, like on average?
I don't know for the year, but I would say they have a better idea, but maybe around $1,000 to like $1,200 a month, depending. Some are slower than others, but
Okay. So that'd be a couple $1,000 extra a year.
it's like 10 each now.
I do think that it's important with these things that we, like, even though it's not always like a particularly feel-good thing, that we try to keep our fees sort of roughly in line with inflation, because otherwise you have these situations, we've had these on the council before, where there's a fee there are a fine or something that has not increased since the 70s. And then if we increased it actually to counter like what the cost of us doing a business as a city has increased by, it would suddenly be this amount that would be like just like a huge political thing. And so I think that for a lot of things like this, there is some sense to checking in periodically and making sure and just doing these well, so that we don't get to a place where like, well, it hasn't increased in 40 years and now we've got it. Like there was one for parking fees that hadn't increased since the 70s. So like I think that there's some logic in that. I don't have any objection to this. I'm inclined to follow your lead on these things in general since it's your department. Any other questions, councilors?
No, I think if it helps you and it aligns with kind of what neighboring communities are doing, and I think what I appreciate you saying that $5 hopefully won't create a hardship, right? And so I think it seems fair that in 20 years we've only raised it $5. So.
Yeah, generally inclined to agree. The comment about people coming to Easthampton specifically because we are cheaper kind of, really resonates. And, that is basically, putting more work on you as a result of that. And so, yeah, I'm in favor of report on it as well. And it did seem looking through kind of the survey, communities are kind of all over in a way. It didn't seem like a bigger city necessarily meant more expensive.
That's true. I noticed some of the very small populations were charging 50.
Interesting, yeah.
Another thing that I remember Barb pointing out at some points, and not about this, but about some things like fees in the clerk's office in general, is that we charge a fee to do this, but then there's a certain level of labor involved with doing the actual paperwork, and that in a lot of cases the fee was not even covering the actual work that was being done. And so, I mean, I don't know that it necessarily should be, but it's just a thing to think about with some of that stuff, with depending on what the thing is. So, all right, well, if
A
everyone
lot of the older records, we have to, go into the vault, take the record out, photocopy it, trim it, and put it on a special letterhead and papers. Not that that's, a lot of work, but it takes a bit of time rather than just printing something out of the computer. But things have definitely improved from when I first started. We would take out this huge ledger book and actually we were talking about the typewriter earlier, type out the record while the people were waiting. So that's kind of interesting. If you made a mistake, it was like, oh, then
Okay. Well, unless there's anything else, I would entertain a motion to increase the vital records fees from $10 to $15. So
suggested February 1st. Unless
that's
not a weekday, but
effective February 1st.
I would move to make that recommendation to the full council.
Second.
All in favor?
The guy was wanting to
Yeah,
ask
sure.
the question. Do we have to have a public hearing?
I don't believe so. I
Okay, I just
didn't,
wanna make
see that
sure.
there was one in the past when the fees were increased, but I will double check.
I just wanted to
Thank
make
you.
sure.
Good point. Yep.
If it was February 1st,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, get to
Said
later
that.
too, but I'll double check. I don't believe so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yield and money. Good point.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. I believe that the only other thing currently on our agenda is we're just checking in about the borrowing rescission. I don't know what
So hopefully when the external auditors are here, I'm able to straighten that out and confirm what we can technically rescind. So
Okay.
and external auditors are coming on site starting next Tuesday. They're gonna be on and off for the next 3 weeks.
Okay, great. I won't bug you about it for the next 3 weeks. It's nothing. It's no sweat on our back to just keep it on there. Like it's not a big deal. I want to make sure that
I
we're
want that
not.
item to be out from that agenda too. Yes, and actually, I can also speak to the quarterly fiscal report.
Okay, sure.
I think it's gonna be quite shocking for me to do the quarterly report in timely manner. Brooke shared with me that she reconciled cash as of what, October?
Yes.
October. So once I start working on this year's reconciliations, I should be able to provide the revenue reports in timely manner.
Beautiful. Love to hear it.
And then
Now, quick question, does this group wants to see the revenue report for June 30th? I have that ready, just to get the full picture idea that at the end of the fiscal year, this is what it looks like. Because
Yeah.
then literally in a month or 2 months, 3 months, maybe we're gonna start the budget hearing and all that. So this is where it's gonna end, but this is our starting point. I mean,
Yeah. Would you be able to email that to us?
you can do that.
That'd be great. I just, if I see it now, I'm not gonna be able to digest it and respond to it, but
That's fine.
I'd love it to just take a look at any information.
Do I send it to just you, or do I send it to all three of you separate email, group email?
I think
How does
group
it-
email is fine and we just won't
Just
deliberate on
don't respond, yeah.
I'll do that.
it. Okay, super. All right, anything else? Okay, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thanks, everybody.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.